All right, well, thank you for joining. This is my first time going at this, and here's what we're going to do today. Today we're going to talk about a new delivery that I have. We're going to do an unboxing, and we're going to talk about, I'll give you a little story behind it, and we're going to talk about my new arrival, the Joe Dart tube bass. Little backstory to this: when I first ordered it, I ordered this back in May. It originally was delivered, I think, in November, but when I received it, and I'll see if I can put up a picture for it, it was like delivered by FedEx and like half sticking out of the box when I opened up. Oh, and it had been delayed by weeks. Like, they told me it was shipping, and then I didn't get it for quite some time. And then, like, I sent an email, they're like, they don't know what happened to it, so they sent me, they said they were going to send a new one, but then the other one finally showed up like 3-4 weeks later. And they promised me a hat, and I never got my hat, and I'm a little disappointed I didn't get my hat. I want my hat. I'm going to reach out to Sterling and find out what happened to my hat. So with that, I got it. When I opened it up, there were scuffs on it. Was not like, it was, the QC either was not great, or something had happened during the shipping process and it got scuffed and it wasn't right. So I ended up sending it back, and they finally sent me a new one. So with that, let's get started, and we will proceed with opening this up. All right, and with that, let's get started. So I've got my box here. It arrived with the tape partially coming off. Little silly. The quality on this packaging is not great, and I saw in the forums that they experience the same. So let's go ahead and see this. All right. Oh, and there's a box inside. It's already been opened. So the box is already opened inside the box here. All right. And there we go. Oh, there you go. Now we're just gonna put that over here for now. Try not to knock anything over. It almost knocked over my MTD. All right, cool. All right, so here we are. Let's take a first look and see how it goes. These cases actually are not terrible. It's got, the inside is nice and padded. It's a good amount of space. Actually, this should be reasonably protective. Still not sure why mine came up. The first one came out, scuffed up and looking rough and all that. So let's take a gander at this. That's very nice. So you've got your giant single coils here, and your iconic Joe Dart tone knobs. Got a very nice. You got a clean line here. You wouldn't normally see this in a lot of basses. I'm not mad about it. I actually kind of like it for the character that it gives. But there's a very defined line there where these two joints of wood were pieced together. And you do know at this price point, you're gonna see that kind of thing. And speaking of price point, this was a bass that cost $500 before shipping, and then it was $60 shipping, I think. And that is what I ended up with. Let's take a look here. I'm gonna check the frets. So I'm gonna press the first and the last fret to see how our action is. Actually, not too bad. That's actually pretty good, decent amount of relief. Looking at the fretwork here, really good fretwork. There's one that looks like there's a little bit of metal breaking through. Again, there's just some things you would never see in a more expensive bass, but again, what would you expect? So the history of this bass is, Joe Dart several years ago worked with Music Man to create unique basses for him, his signature lines. His iconic one, obviously, is the single humbucker Joe Dart, but then there was a subsequent Joe Dart 2 that he made with Music Man, and then in this last year was the first run of the Joe Dart, the Sterling Joe Dart series. And so what we have now, this is the 2025 crop, and it looks like they're going to take custom orders each time. A little bit of cost is trimmed out because there's no middleman. There's nobody who's taking a cut for the delivery and the sales and all that. I will say I did find, just looking at it, there is a little scuffing right here that just buffs right out. Again, it's just surprising sometimes to see what goes through. There is some scuffing up here on the neck. Again, similar to what I saw, not quite as bad as the other one. The other one was actually like dug into the neck. There were actual marks on it, not just some black marks, but some actual marks. I think I also see, it's interesting, I don't know if this is a multi-piece neck or not, but there seems to be a potential cutoff here, but nonetheless, overall, looks good. This one I'll intend to keep, assuming nothing else pops out at me. Again, there's a mark here, mark there, but again, for this kind of quality, at this price point, yeah, you're probably looking pretty good. Some roughness in the grain here, but in the finish, it's generally a smooth finish, but I've definitely got some marks here. But what I'll say is I'm actually finding that there are a number of basses guitars and basses that I've received lately where I'm seeing that QC seems to be a thing that comes up, whether it was my experience with this, including what I'm seeing here, but also I have a Lakeland DJ5 that I received. Speckling in the paint for a bass that retails or MSRPs around $1,900. You've got speckling in the paint. You've got there's scuff marks on the binding of it, some marks on the neck. Some odd things that you wouldn't expect in such a premium bass. It's funny when you look at these, because one thing I notice here, it's little things, and again at this price point. And again, I've been seeing this in other basses as well. I've seen it I've got a Squire Jazzmaster that is, it's the 40th anniversary. It's got that nice blue and gold colors to it. But I'm noticing, issues with the paint, some of the fit. I just took all the neck off and repolished it down. I had to put some shims in it, which I guess is part of the Jazzmaster story. But one of the things I notice here, when you spin the knob, it's not even. And I'm not sure if that's the knob design, not sure if it's the pot or what it is, but it's not a big deal. It'll annoy me. I may try to fix that at some point. The front one's not so bad, but the second definitely has like this wobble where when you turn it, you see like the up and down on it. I don't know if you'll be able to see it while I'm doing this, but if you can see that. But again, at the price point, what you're getting, it's a great bass. It's a couple warts, but well worth it for otherwise the quality that you're getting. It may have to do with where they're outsourcing the manufacturing to. I believe these are all being made in Indonesia, so maybe there's something. I'm not an expert on that. But I do know that there are different QC levels with different groups and different types of contracts and all that. So with that, I will take this and we'll give it a run, give it a play, and see how it plays. I do want to call out one other thing here as I get started. What I'm going to do is I'm going to be playing through. I've got a Black Star. Just hit something. I've got a Black Star. That's a lot of noise. Black Star bass amp here. That's running DI into a Scarlett that's going to go into my recording in a second. But before I get started, one thing I do want to point out, it did arrive. I did get my hat. So I don't need to reach out to Sterling about my hat. They did include my hat this time. It was what they offered me after there was like a 4-week delay where they didn't know what happened to the guitar. So I got my hat. I'm excited. That's great. I'm going to put that over here for now. And then we'll get started with the bass, demo. First thing I need to do is tune it, so I'm just going to use Quick for reference. Sort of low flat. And I'm tightening the wrong one because it's a Stingray style neck. I forgot about that, so I'm sitting there tightening the G string, thinking, why isn't it getting better? So it's So they did bring it in just a little undertuned. All right, and with that, let's get started with the demo. Right, so we are now going through the direct, no effect. I'm going straight in, no effect whatsoever. We're just going to play with the pickups and the volumes and see how it goes. Okay, I'm going to switch to the excuse me. I'm going to switch to the bridge pickup now. switch to the bridge neck up now. Very nice. I do need to call out one thing. I may have some effect going through. I just realized I need to look into this. I'm going into my black star, coming out of the direct into my my scarlet here, and that could color some of the tone a little bit. So you may be getting a little bit of flavor through the black star. I currently have pretty much mids, lows, highs, all at 12 o'clock on a 6L6 setting, compressor off, drive off, gain about, call it 55%. All right, there you have it. So that is the Joe Dart 2 bass here from Sterling, the 3-in-1, as I learned as I was tuning up. Well, learned, but remembered. And then 2025 pack made in Indonesia. Nice little bass. Has its flaws. Little heavy to play. The strings are pretty tense. There's a lot of tension to these strings, which is okay, even if you're playing at the neck. It does feel a little stiff compared to like my P bass here with the slinky flats. Or I've got a 76, which I'm not sure what strings. Those are maybe like 20-year-old strings on that one. But I got a 76 P bass with also. So this feels, and compared to a J&J, a bit of tension on the strings, but that's okay because when you're talking to jazz with this kind of tonal profile, that's not unreasonable. It feels overall pretty good. I would play this out. Obviously, I'm not really a rock bass necessarily, but if you're doing anything with some any jazz, any funk, anything with a lot of open space, there's a lot you can do with this. This has a lot of room to do some atmospheric type of playing. So if you, for example, I don't think I have a pick on me. You could also, do both and so lots you can do with this. Good little bass. I intend to keep it at least for a little bit. I'm going to continue to explore it and see if there's any issues with it that pop up. Anything that could be structural or like would be disappointing. But otherwise, nice little bass. Thank you so much for joining. Let me know what you think. What do you think about this versus the there's the Joe Dart, the Sterling by Joe Dart Stingray style with the single humbucker, and then you've also got the short scale with the split pickup, the P bass style pickup. That is also looking pretty nice. Half interested in maybe checking that out next year with the next batch. But for now, this is what we have. Curious what you think. What do you think about not having the knobs to be able to control the tone? That you're literally controlling the tone through your control the volume. So you want to add a little more warmth. You have to back off the bridge. You want a little more grind. You got to back off the neck. So I'm curious what you think. What basses are interesting to you? What do I feel here? I feel like there's something rough there. Is there something rough there? No? All right, no, that's fine. So let me know what basses you are interested in. Are there anything that's coming up that you're interested in learning about or seeing? And what we should be keeping our eyes out for the next batch of interesting and unique instruments. Again, the Joe Dart 2 bass, no active electronics, just volume and volume, and that's all. It's basic, feels nice, plays nice. There's some rough edges, but they make up for it in the way it plays and the way it feels. Again, nicely set up, it plays well, sounds great. Thanks so much.